Ladies and gentlemen, major World War updates with your General Greene, islandproject.com. God bless you all. This is a major World War update as we saw the attack vector and the absolute genius of our President Donald Trump execute the most brilliant military strikes and move in what will be now looked upon by not just Wall Street, the new unlocked golden age, but historians, which I believe will award Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, the most masterful executed series of events that have ever transpired in American history, and more importantly, the stability of the Middle East. And I salute the United States' incredible execution. God bless America, and God bless our troops. Massive moves, guys. Massive moves and huge positive developments earlier this morning. I'm betting that the Strait of Hormuz actually is not closed. And the reason is the immense firepower that would result from the United States would be epic. And the most important takeaway from Donald Trump's strike is that he made a statement to the world, a big statement. I think that's even more important than the complete destruction, which is obviously the end goal of the strike, of the nuclear proliferation sites. Now, Wall Street's viewing this is incredibly positive as well, because this is bringing certainty to the new era. So even though it might sound controversial today, you will look back on this moment as not only it was your last opportunity to ever buy Bitcoin under 100K in your entire life, but this will be the pivot point and the skyrocketing parabola that now unlocks with a golden key a massive up-only move into the currency reset, Bitcoin, cryptos, blockchain, and stablecoins. In fact, another massive IPO just hit Wall Street earlier today, a SPAC buying billions of more Bitcoin, billions of more cryptocurrency, exiting US petrodollars into the new stablecoin and into the new strategic US reserve. All of this ties together. All roads lead the same direction. So this is a massive, incredible move. And all the haters and the critics are going to be pleasantly blown away by surprise on how masterful this actually works out. Like I said, people will be on their knees very, very soon, if they're not already, praising Donald Trump's unbelievable execution, unbelievable move for peace, not war. Now, this is not to say that there's not national security issues. There are. And there's not going to be Houthi rebels out in the seas. And there's not going to be counter moves or, God forbid, counter strikes. Absolutely. But this is what most Americans voted for. They voted for security at home, closures of the borders, deportations, and peace and prosperity, not to mention a golden age in strengthening our allied relationships. And this is what I believe has been done. Look, it's easy to be a critic and say, hey, we just want world peace and golden lollipop. It's easy to be the quote unquote pacifist. What if we just all get along? You know, we'll just peace. That's not how the world works. Read your Bibles. Human nature. Somebody's got to broker the deal, the art of the peace deal. Somebody's got to establish stability. And there needs to be profound leadership, not just for our great countries, but the other countries that we work with. And that's how the world works. It's very common sense. So I'm absolutely thrilled after the last few days of very intense. I mean, the last 48 hours have been ridiculous, right? I mean, myself, along with all you beautiful people, we predicted when we were in the air, for crying out loud, and that there were decoys, and we predicted the attacks, and we predicted that the military parade was essentially predictive programming for Iran's strike on Israel Friday the 13th. I mean, we knew it, we predicted it, our instincts were proven accurate, and all glory to God and you amazing people out there. I mean, unbelievable. And so now you really need to take a seat back and a step back and really listen to what I'm telling you now. So the opportunities ahead are so endless. And guys, you know, I've never met a happy, joyful, truly joyful person. Successful, rich, faithful, with a family and beautiful children that didn't have a positive attitude. I've never met someone happy that was in a negative state of mind. So understand that Donald Trump is a trailblazer, and he has essentially set the stage again for an era of prosperity unlike you've ever seen. Now look, I predicted all this for decades. I told you this will be the greatest wealth transfer in world history. Yeah, most middle-class Americans will get hammered because they haven't taken my advice. You need to take my advice. If you don't get into Bitcoin and crypto, you're going to get hammered. You're going to be absolutely destroyed by the AI robotic wealth transfer, by the wealth transfer into stablecoins, by the wealth transfer into tokenized real estate. You're going to get hammered if you don't take my advice. You're going to be absolutely destroyed on universal basic income. None of that has changed. But if you do what I tell you to do, you will be much better off. You'll be prosperous, you will thrive, and more importantly, man, you will have a mindset, a true mindset of success, forward thinking. And what I think is so important in life is passion for what you do and who you are as a human being. So you can go set an amazing example to all your friends and your family members. And you can be that silent witness and that silent donor to your church and the charitable contributions that you make and the amazing things and the inspiration that you give people. I mean, guys, have a little fun out there, man. Have a little fun, for crying out loud. Like, this is a short trip, man. We're going up. You know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Have some fun. It's like a video game, right? But you only get one life. And you're out on a quest. And every setback and obstacle is just a new mission, man, to reinvent yourself. If you woke up this morning with all your limbs and you're able, and even if you don't have those and you're walking around, your heart's beating, man, I mean, choose to put on a smile. Somebody's praying for what you already have, and it's a video game. And man, what I love, and I can't wait for the testimony this year. And I get them all the time from my members, is I love sharing your comeback stories. I love sharing your success. I am always rooting for you, the underdog. I am always rooting for the United States. I am always rooting for our troops and our president. I am always rooting for the King, Jesus Christ, whom I serve. So, in the days ahead, I am inspired. I am awestruck because bigger than Trump, bigger than politics, bigger than the war, bigger than the economy, bigger than the stock market, bigger than crypto. At the head of all this, I know this is God's plan. I see what he's doing, man. I see how he's moving all the chips and the pieces and into their place, and man, it just ushers in not only the rapture, but brings forth the second coming. Glory to that. Again, what's the point? The eye is the window to the soul, we often hear, and it's also the lamp of the heart, which we read about in the Bible, and you can see it in people's eye. If you look in someone's eye, you can see a spark or the light having gone out. I think a lot of Americans, a lot of people worldwide have lost the spark. They've lost the light. You know, they're rolling around their day to day and maybe they're unhappy or they're facing some kind of problem, as we all face. By the way, thank you for the prayers for baby Faith. Her open heart surgery was successful, but she still has a tremendous battle ahead. And she's recovering well. I can tell, you know, she's an infant. She's in a lot of pain. I mean, open heart surgery is not any easy thing. So we're nursing her back to health. And again, that's an example. Look, like your roadmap of life. And by the way, the best things that have ever happened to me in my life are not just my wife and my children and my family and you guys and the Island Project and just AMTV in this journey. It's actually, when I look back on it, it's been the obstacles. It's been the pain. It's been me bashing freaking TVs on camera, for those of you who've been following me for a long time. It's been me being broke. I mean, my wife and I joke about this too. It's, man, we're like, when we were broke, that was fun, man. Living in like a box apartment. It's like we're like on top of each other. There was like nowhere to go. There's like no furniture. Hanging out with the boys in college. I mean, that was sick. Those were some of the greatest times of life. So a lot of you are focused on a future that honestly doesn't exist. And what I want you to seize is your destiny. It ain't the trophy at the end, man. It's the freaking ride. It's like being on a roller coaster, dude. I tell you this all the time. If you're ever given the choice, always go big, always go 1000x. Look, you can live your whole life in fear, uncertainty, planning for the future. I don't want. Not taking any risks. Living in safety. Panicking your whole life. Crying yourself to sleep at night. Planning for retirement. Always love that one. Which is great. Feel free to do it, but there's no guarantee you ever live to see it. I've even prayed about this for myself, and I believe God will bless me to his glory, a long, fruitful life. But I prayed about it, and man, he not only does he know all the hairs on our head and everything about us, he knows exactly when we'll live and exactly when we'll die. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't believe that changes. I think, truthfully, some people just win the genetic lottery, others don't, and the best are taken first. And that's why all of us, myself included, and many of you tuning in, we all know it. We lose the best ones early. Because guess what? They're being saved, man. God's pulling them up. They're winners. And so, no man or woman, you tuning in, sits on your deathbed and is like, man, I'm glad I played it safe. I'm glad I was super conservative and scared my whole life. I'm glad I was penny pinching for a future that never came. You know how many old guys I see getting out of their Lambos? They can barely walk, dude. It's like a walker pulls up to their Lambo. And then they fall over and they can't even get into the car. What's the point of those things if you wait till you're so old, gray, and decrepit that it's not even fun? Not that those things even matter, but it's like, you know, if you want to go on a roller coaster and get the experience, why not go for it? It's actually, I think, one thing that our generation actually really does value, because in the younger generation, for me, they've only seen their parents like wiped out. Like 2008-09 was like a wipeout for a lot of Americans. 2020 was a wipeout, right? Over and over again, the younger generation just gets screwed. Now the wealth transfer is hitting. All of it's moving to Bitcoin, crypto, into these new areas of prosperity, and most people are getting screwed again. So like the younger generation's like, man, I want a ride. I want some experience too in life. And I actually think that's good. I think it's a little bit of a balance, right? And the pendulum is always swinging back and forth. We can see this with politics too, as now the country is desperate almost for a comeback. Desperate for the little guy. I mean, Trump. Who would have thought he would have even run for president? He could be sitting on a yacht right now, sipping a frickin' Mai Tai. And so could Elon Musk. These people aren't perfect, but I mean, they didn't have to be drawn in just so they can put themselves at grave risk, which we've seen. And so I want you to have a different perspective and look at these world events and look at your life with a sense of gravitas and an idea of the future you want, but being created in the present. See, again, if you woke up today and you're not shitting your pants like my brother was because half his body was blown off, and I have friends that have stepped on IEDs or lost their life in Iraq and Afghanistan, or if you're not hit by a bus, if you just woke up with breath in your lungs, you're freaking winning, baby. The lottery today. Do you understand? The freaking lottery, for crying out loud. So, it's never too late to start over. Don't let your past define you. Your past mistakes, your past setbacks, your past worry, your past pain, your past suffering, your loss. Don't let that define you. Let it be a part of who you are and build it into something amazing. Again, I look at the greatest moments of my life were some of the most troubling. My brother dying in my arms, watching him go through tremendous pain that is not even almost humanly possible. I think he only got through it through Jesus. My brother was in so much pain. He had to be on so many painkillers because when they sawed his body in half and they had to staple gun everything back, and he had surgery for like 2 weeks and died and walked with Jesus Christ. By the way, it's testimony I've shared before and I'll share again in the future. It's amazing testimony. My brother used to be an atheist, but when he died, he actually went to heaven, walked with Jesus. Jesus said he'd live 3 years exactly because he had more work for him. He came back. He was pulling out the breathing tube. He had a tear coming down. He couldn't speak, and he pointed to his eye and said, up, eye and up. And then he pointed to his heart, and a tear comes down because he saw God. I documented all of it. Those are the best moments of my life. The best moments, I'm speaking for myself, of my life have been in service, even when I didn't want to serve. I was like, oh man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to the hospital today. My daughter, Faith, struggling. Open heart surgery, has other problems too. There's like a lot of them. I don't view any of them as problems. I view them as gifts to glory. I know that she'll be better than me. She'll bring more joy and passion and hope and life to the world than I ever could. And so all these things are miracles. This ride, maybe you're going through a divorce right now. Or maybe you can't find a partner. Or maybe you've been screwed over. Maybe you're struggling in any capacity. Stop looking and focusing on the problem and focus on what you want and the actual hope for a better future. Again, one thing, and I'll teach you guys this too, environments are important. If you're in a negative environment, that can make or break your relationship with yourself and honestly where you're going. Look at life as if they're tools. Don't need much. Thinking about that song. A lot of you prevent yourself from doing things because you say you don't have what you need. No, you have exactly what you need. Trust me on this. God has given you every single tool. If you're broke, you're in an advantageous situation. You have nothing to lose. You can only go up. I mean, honestly, being broke is kind of fun because it's like, bro, you can't go down any further. You can only go up, right? You just keep swinging, bro. I mean, what? Like I always share with you guys, it gets tougher as you become more successful because you're like, oh crap, there's like a lot more responsibility now. I got to keep growing this stuff, preserving this stuff, get smart. You know, that's where the real hustle. And so all of us, I believe, all of you tuning in, I'm here to motivate you today to be your highest self. I want to see you guys rise amidst the darkness. Look, I'm not ignoring that we're in end times. I'm not ignoring there's all these problems. I'm not saying life is perfect. Bro, we're in freaking like the end times, for crying out loud. But if you have true faith, how could you not be joyful that you're not just here, but that you're able to experience this and do some good while you're here, for crying out loud? Like, is that not the point? The whole point is to be knocking on the door and sharing the good word and helping yourself first and putting your own oxygen mask on so you can go out and help other people. So what is in front of us is an extraordinary opportunity for good. And even outside of politics, I believe in all of you. And I believe in your greatness through God. Not your own, but through God. Another life lesson. And people have asked me to talk about this, but like, a secret to success is to have massive confidence. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is. Dude, if you walked into a room with a briefcase with the look of, I suck and don't believe in yourself, you'll never get the deal. Again, there's a reason why. I say this all the time. I posted an old video on this. Usually the dumber people are more successful. The dumber you are, you don't even think about consequences, you just do. You're just constantly in action mode and you have almost overwhelming confidence because you're so dumb. It's the dumb people that are actually in charge of the smart people. The C students employ the A students, and the D and F students write the philanthropy checks. Just like all the billionaires worldwide, none of them even graduated high school some of the time, yet alone college. So smarts is not necessarily book smarts. It's street smarts. And the dumber you are, and so think about that, most of you aren't taking enough action, right? You're just thinking all the time. I have friends that are huge intellectual, they're just thinking in their head all the time, but they never do anything. They've been telling me that they're gonna start a business for like 20 years. And I'm looking, I'm like, bro, you're almost like 50 now. You didn't even try once. So you're not taking enough action. You're not taking enough action with your investments. You're not taking enough action with your relationships. You're not taking enough action with your faith, with your life. You're not trying to do big things. You have to ask for what you actually want in life. Have you ever done that? I literally ask. I learned this a long time ago. I just asked for what I want. I'm like, yeah, I want an extraordinary life. I want to be passionate. I want to build incredible companies. I ask God, I pray to him for the resources to move through me. And then I take aggressive action, take massive risks that would make most people throw up. Most people, again, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Get used to wanting to throw up. You're like, oh my God, that's a huge, and then go in, jump in. What do you have to lose? And you can take calculated risks, and you don't even have to be as adventurous as someone like me or other people that you admire or Trump, right? You can even be more calculated. But the advantage I've always found is that the big risk taking, going all in, especially when it matters, just like now. For example, you will look back, this will be the greatest pivot point. You will look back at the Iranian strikes yesterday as the pivot unlock into the golden age that Donald Trump promised. Crypto will skyrocket. We're going to $1 million+ in Bitcoin, guys. Just like I told you, foaming from the mouth at $1,000 US Bitcoin and 10,000. I posted that video on X. I'm like a young man, like foaming from the mouth, like, oh my gosh, we just went to 10K Bitcoin. We're going to 100K next. Everyone's like, whatever, dude. Crackpot. Now I'm foaming from the mouth again. You're going to $1 million per coin. 3 million is my personal target. And so many of you are still sitting around. Now, the Island Project, I do want to do a shout out to Mark Printy. You know who you are. God bless you, sir. I posted you. One of my amazing boys, my boy Blue, one of my members, amazing members of islandproject.com. I've got beautiful members from all over the world, 12 different countries, a little bit more than that now, actually. And we've got beautiful people staying at our wonderful properties, and they own 100% equity, just like a Huey, if you've ever heard of a Huey, you know. For example, this house, $20 million. 20 mil, right? Instead of just buying, let's say, this house by yourself, which most of you could not afford because 20 million is a lot of money, but you can actually. You could easily afford it if you take my advice. You easily afford 20 million. Nothing. 100 million is nothing. $1 billion is nothing. Money is just water, energy, just like the ocean and the sea behind me. But instead of just buying it yourself, you buy it with 20 people. And as it appreciates, you get all the capital gains, all the interest income, because you keep these things rented out at, this place, like, if you rent this place out, it's going to be $3,000, $5,000, maybe more a night, depending on seasonality and these kinds of things. So you got income coming in. You've got use, you've got amortization, depreciation, tools that you don't get in other investments. Plus, because we own a collection of properties diversified, you can use any of them around the world at any time. And you can, instead of just putting all your eggs in one basket, your mom teaches you not to do that. You've diversified a little bit. So you can go to the beach and go surfing, and then plan your ski trip and go skiing, and then go off to Thailand, booyah, or to Bali, booyah. And that's what we built. It's very simple to understand. Plus, I'm tokenizing it, so I've married best-in-class, first-in-class real estate with tokenization, so all my members get a separate event. It's really just like a cherry on top, like a hot fudge sundae, and if it goes 1,000x, it goes 1,000x. Even if it goes 30x, you're a millionaire. See my terms and disclaimers. Very easy to understand. Very easy. It's nothing like a timeshare. I always hear that. And by the way, I kind of tell you it in that way for a reason. Nothing like timeshares suck. Never buy a timeshare. Timeshare, you don't have any ownership, no capital gains, no interest income, nothing. You can't get out of them. There's no liquidity at all. And they're horrible investments. You don't get to take advantage of anything. And with a timeshare, you can only pick like one property, like one time a year. They suck. It's not ownership. You don't own anything. Hueys are very common, where you go in, say, with family members, and you just buy properties and investments. And this is what the wealthy do. They park their money in banks, and that's going to be growingly more important, especially with the crisis we have brewing, because the golden age will also reveal the unsettling and the unsettlement of the collapsing dollar, the eroding financial system, and the debt that can never be paid back, which, by the way, is transferring into the new system. So I love you guys. Time to get in is now. Time to get in is now. Don't look back on this video and be like, man, the general was right again. I should have called Papa John at 808-442-2934. Darn, I missed it. Bitcoin's now trading at 300K. Whoops. Christopher tokenizes. All of his members are rich. I missed it again. So many of you ask me the question, well, what's the next play, General? What's the next play? You've gotten it all right. You just posted these videos from 10 years ago. I didn't know about you 10 years ago. I didn't know, or I didn't come across that video of yours. And so I never knew about Bitcoin. What is your advice now? This right here. No downside, no bank debt. I have to say that it's an investment, so there are risks, but there's no bank debt, guys. You own already acquired properties, completely diversified in the best locations in the world, and you can use them and enjoy your actual investment. And it's outside of the banks, which is extremely important right now. Can't do it with a stock. You can't enjoy your stock. You can't go to bed on your stock, okay? I mean, I don't think your wife's going to be that impressed. Hey, honey, check out this stock. Ah! But she will be impressed when you take her on an amazing vacation and you show her, yeah, hey, take a look at what we own. We own a piece of the rock along with Papa John, Christopher Greene. It's amazing, isn't it, honey? And then you get your income distributions coming in the future as we've had our 3-year roadmap. You're like, oh, wow, I just got a check. Amazing. And then we tokenize and you get your tokens and you're like, oh my gosh, it's worth them $2 million. Wow, thanks, General. You did it again. I mean, this isn't hard. Just like lifting weights. Just like lifting weights. Consistency. Just keep going against all adversity and all odds. Have patience and you win. Look, you can never lose if you keep getting back up. Again, I'm rooting for you. You're the comeback kid. This year is your story. This is your 1000x moment, and we're going to testify because I'm going to share your testimony over the next few months this year about how everything changed in your life. Because you know what? You said, Christopher is right. I mean, look at him. If he can do it, I can. And of course you are. I'm just a normal dude. But you know what the difference between me and most everybody else is, man, I just go massively all in and I just keep pumping and going for it. I'm always swinging when everyone else gave up. I'm always asking for success. There's a lot of people like this that you follow and you're like, that guy doesn't seem that smart. Why is he so rich and why does he have so much money? We're the only ones trying. You're not. You don't take enough action. You're not even asking for what you want. We're just there showing up every day like, give us $100 million billion. We're ready to rock, baby. Yeah, let's do that. We're the only ones showing up. My dad taught me this when I was a kid, and I'll close here. That it's not even the best salesman or the best marketer or the best preacher or the best teacher or whatever it is that wins or is the most effective. It's the one that just never gives up, keeps showing up every freaking day. I mean, I'm not a sales guy, but I personally know salespeople, and like I'll do business with them because they're just so darn persistent. I'm like, oh, okay, here's my money, dude. Just get out of my face. Here it is. Where do I sign? Okay, you're just the most persistent person. I'm fine. Like, that is who you buy from. That is who you do business with. And that is why the top people in the world do 99.9% of all the business and have all the success, and most people don't. In your office, I guarantee, if you work in an office, there's one dude or gal, man or a woman, who sits there in the corner, or in Japan, they sit in the center. It has a different kind of format there. And they do like all the business. You see this like in the mortgage business and the real estate business and finance business, everything. There's one dude. There's always that Michael Jordan guy. All the money just goes to him. That person should be you. And it ain't about money. If you understood this video, you would understand what you do. It's about drive and passion and hope and living for something bigger than yourself and then sharing that and electrifying that into the world in a big way. So I love you. Links below. I got to run. It is your last chance to get into islandproject.com. On board like Mark. On board like my amazing members that just hit tiers. I had two of you actually at 250, 500. And I got one of you. I got one spot left in that 1,000-unit tier. Get in. Call my dad. Book your vacation. Give us your testimonial. Show your friends and family what you're a part of and go big. This is the golden age unlock. And you heard it here first. This is the pivot. Donald Trump will receive the Nobel Peace Prize. It's that freaking big. Don't miss it, guys. A lot of you miss Bitcoin. Don't miss the Island Project in the digital Noah's Ark. Call my dad, 808-442-2934. Fill out a quick app for 5 minutes. Fund immediately today. 150 units minimum or more. God bless.